Christmas?
It's gonna be something, all right.
What do you think would happen if it was a Wolverine Christmas?
There'd be a lot of blood in the water.
Or it could be a ComicGains Christmas.
That's different.
Because it is ComicGains. And if you're new to the show, I'm Adam.
I'm Zach, and this is the Princess Royal Highness, looking very lovely, just like usual, doing the princess way. You do too, bow down respect, and of course, there's the Cocoa Dog.
She looks like a stocking.
And magazines.
The stocking princess. Wait, that could mean a couple different things.
Stocking,
yes. The stocking princess. All right, guys.
Everybody.
Today is Tuesday, and we are back on live with you again with a brand new edition of Straight Up Comics, also known as the Suck. No, I'm just kidding.
No.
Straight Up Comics. But it does the acronym for that, though, isn't it?
Straight Up Comics.
Straight Up Comics, where every week we bring to you the review of last week's books, so that there is no spoilers. Well, there'll be spoilers, but I won't spoil you for the current week.
You know, it's not the Suck, it's the Shoke.
The Soke.
Oh, Shoke.
The Soke.
True Bud?
Yeah.
Anybody?
That's a good one.
You.
And we also have the BS Master Buying Smart with...
Buying Smart was that.
Buying
no
Smart
BS.
was that. Yeah, he has a special... This is a pretty epic Buying Smart edition, as well as Princess's Picks of the Week. She's going to let you know what books you should pick up tomorrow, because she goes to the LCS a lot.
Oh.
If not also working at the LCS.
Yeah, that is true.
Working. But yeah, it's been an exciting week in the comic book world. It was a big week last week. So there's a couple extra books in here because my shop was behind on some books. So we got a lot of things to review. A bunch of awesome shows are out to watch. So definitely check out. We'll give our stamp of approval on Creature Commandos as well as Skeleton Crew, right? You like both of those?
Yeah, I really like Skeleton Crew quite a bit. Creature Commandos, I would say, is actually probably even better, but it's animated.
It's
so
close.
They're
very close for me.
It's animated, so some people don't like animated, but man, it's a good show.
They're very close. So yeah, some good stuff coming out. Probably gonna start kicking up my Christmas movie watch here pretty soon. Trying to catch up on all that. My usuals. I try to add a couple new ones in. I might try that Red One or whatever.
Yeah.
I'm probably gonna try. I gotta really watch it once, right?
There's a new one on Amazon called Red One.
Yeah.
Which
is weird because it's in the theater and then immediately is on Amazon right now for free.
Yeah, it has a bunch of famous actors. I can't think
The
of
Rock,
their name.
Chris Evans, J.K. Simmons, Lucy Liu.
Oh.
Princess is a big fan of the Lucy Liu.
As you should.
Yeah. But all this talk makes me thirsty, and I might have a drink with Zach today. I need to have a LaCroix, though. It's going to be a lot of talking. I'm
going to have a square-sided mild cider Imperial Key Lime Pie. It's a cider, guys. Not a beer, but it's probably good and delicious.
Ooh.
Maybe I already have
a cider?
It's cider.
Cider. Did it wiggle and jiggle in cider?
It could have.
It could have,
but we wouldn't be able to show that on the show.
And if you're feeling thirsty, come hang out with us on Whatnot. Especially this Saturday, Princess is having a special show. This is your Christmas show, right? Holiday show, depending on which holiday you observe. But this will be the holiday show on Whatnot for the Princess. She will be on 4 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. The boys will not be on per se, but we will be in the background hanging out. We are deciding, I think we may do a Tuesday live show on Christmas Eve if everything works out at the regular 6 o'clock time. See where that takes us. We can all have some rum and eggnog together.
Eggnog rum.
Now you're speaking my language. But let's say hi to our friends before we get into the comic. Taylor Winder taking home the W on Monday, saying, "Go Packs, we owe you 3 mystery boxes." I think we're going to try to get those shipped out next week. We'll see. Well, let's group up. Maybe we'll do something live to open or not. We'll see how that's going. Andrew, the king of New Comic Book Day. Welcome in, my friend. Happy reading. Las Cruces from New Mexico has joined us. Welcome in, Las Cruces. Matando says, "Hello, Gainers." And the beautiful Princess. Shadow 4T, our longtime friend, is here. Good to see you, Shadow. Zero. Actually, most of you guys are longtime friends at this point. Zero, also a longtime friend. Good to see you as well. One Shot Comics, the winner from our our show, our big show that we had, the winner. Hopefully you enjoy your winning. We got Han Solo shooting first, as always. Welcome in, buddy. Ninjustice, also a longtime friend of ours. Always good to see you, Ninjustice. I love that you make it out to the shows too. And yeah, we got a lot of stuff going on. Yeah, Taylor says, let's definitely figure out something out live. Exactly. Sorry the Seahawks crapped the bed. I know, dude. I was watching this like streaming thing, and they were like, "Oh, Russell Wilson's back," and you can tell by this video. And I've not been watching football that much, and I was like, "Oh," and you see him like juke out these guys. This is for Pittsburgh, and he does this really cool spin move, and it's like, "Oh, it does look like old Russell," and then he lobs his ball into the end zone, and it right to the other team. And like, oh, he is back. Like, sorry, Russ. But yeah, some cool stuff going on. So let's get right into the books, right? I got a lot of books to review, and then we'll get into the good stuff. So first up, this may be what I would say the spec book of the week, which a lot of people are saying that anyways because it's already above value. But Ultimate Universe, 1 year in, issue 1 came out last week, and this is spoilers, guys. So I'll let you know what's going on. Yeah, we got the variant cover. I don't know why we got the Black Panther one, but the Wolverine one is the money book. I was gonna say money shot, but don't do that to the comic book.
No. That's for a Penthouse magazine.
Yeah. But as you guys can see, Ultimate Wolverine is on the cover. This is also his first full appearance. I'm not sure if that other character in the Ultimate X-Men was anything. I think that was actually like his son, maybe.
Yeah. That's
Dakin. But yeah, because he's on the cover and it's his first appearance and it's a variant, kind of gives you that triple threat. But this is Dennis Camp and Jonas Scarf did this book together, and it's basically giving like a recount of how the year has gone from the villain's point of view.
Okay.
So the whole group of the Makers Council meet up together and they talk about like everything they've been doing so far. You get a little taste. They have like the Viper show up, who's one of the representatives from the X-Men book, and they're like, "Oh, how are things going with the Children of the Atom and so forth?" And the person who meets the council together is Nick Fury. So he's on the cover of issue A, the A cover, which actually looks really cool. I was thinking about getting that one. So he's getting the council together. Clearly he works for the Maker. Everything is sort of like in this monologue where he's like saying like this is his reasons, these are the things he did in his past. So he works for the Maker as well, but he's not technically part of the council. And there's some cool funny stuff that he says. Like you get to see some of the people he's killed over the years. So like you got like Omega, that character I like, Omega, Howard the Duck. He's got him in chains. He killed the Power Pack. He killed the Inhumans. Some cool stuff. You get to see how he got rid of some people. And then you get the side of him where he's like, I'm tired of this. I probably can't, like, I shouldn't be helping the bad guys anymore. And like, this is like his manifesto to get rid of the enemy. So now that he has the council together, he's going to blow them up and kill them all. And so like, he's got his grand scheme. And while they're all there in a circle, he's like, now that I got all you mother effers, you're all going to die. He doesn't swear, but, and they just look at him and they laugh.
And they're like, you can't kill me.
Well, the funny thing is that they're like, yo, this is like the 30th time you've done this. And did you write a note this time, you silly little boy? And he's like, what are you talking about? And like, he turns out he's either some kind of clone, because then they kill him immediately and they knew exactly what he was going to do. And then they show a room and it's full of Nick Fury. And you're like, oh, dang. So you get a little insight of like the other people that are leading the other groups. But overall, really good issue. There's a really funny part in it where they're talking about like corrupting America's youth with all this like propaganda. And one of the things that they decided to do it in was comic books. And then he specifically is like, nobody reads comic books anymore in the book. He also says that they gave out free juice to the kids that like stunts their like wanting to be better, you know, or whatever. Like makes them more receptible to everything going on. So
you know,
Kenneth Bird, what's up? How's it going?
Chlorine in the water, and that's it.
Yeah.
Or whatever that
they
is.
kind of give you a little bit of
Fluoride.
a thing. And then at the end, very lackluster, is a preview for Ultimate Wolverine, and it's basically him getting the adamantium put in his body and then him bursting out of like the typical
it's a
bath.
Weapon X.
Yeah, and you don't really get much dialogue. You don't really get to see much. He's in that new red costume. It's going to be written by Chris Condon And the big seller, which a lot of people are excited about, is Alessandro Cappuccio is drawing it. And if you're wondering who that is, he's the new up-and-coming artist who blew everyone's socks off for Moon Knight.
Oh,
so
okay.
one of the reasons Moon Knight is such a big deal is because of his artwork. And so he is going to be drawing Ultimate Wolverine. So we'll see. Like, you don't get much in this, so it's like for Wolverine's side. So as like his first appearance or whatever.
So would this might just be a cameo? It might be a Hulk.
Well, there's like 2 or 3 pages of him.
But still,
and I think they call him the Logan. Marley the super dog in the house.
Called him the goat.
They should have. You know who you could call the goat? We've got Absolute Wonder Woman #2. This is in no particular order. Actually, a book from 2 weeks ago that I only recently got from LCS, but it's a great book, so let's review it. Kelly Thompson, the also up-and-coming artist Hayden Sherman, everyone's kind of going crazy about. It's really good. Of the Absolute, it's my least favorite between Superman and Batman, but maybe that's just because I've never been a huge fan of Wonder Woman. I don't have anything against her. Maybe I just don't understand it.
You know, they need to bring back the bondage for Wonder Woman. That's when Wonder Woman was great.
That's when she was at her best.
She got tied
when
up.
She's wrapped up.
And tying other people up.
That's true. It could happen.
The lasso of truth.
It could happen. Although the artwork is good, I respect it. It's not quite my style. You'd have to like look through this. There's moments where like Wonder Woman's really pretty, and then there's other moments where it's just drawn interestingly. Some people really like this Hayden Sherman art. It kind of has that like, what's that one book that you really like, that Rick Remender book?
Deadly Class.
Yeah, I don't know, not quite that gritty, but it has that feel to it, like a little bit different kind of feel.
Okay.
But this is the introduction of the Absolute Steve Trevor. So if you remember that male character from the Wonder Woman movie, who was actually cool.
Pilot.
Yeah, he's a good character. He shows up in this. There's this cool part where you get to see him, and then she acts like she already know him, and then we have a nice flashback where he actually like floats up in hell because she's not on the island. So she actually met him with her like adopted mother Cersei, and then like them nursing him back to health. And then you kind of get like this split scene because in the book she's fighting like these giant monsters that are attacking the city and helping them on her death Pegasus, because her Pegasus is a skeleton. And there's some really fun fight scenes. She just guts a bunch of stuff, and then he's representing the army, and they like realize like, hey, we're old friends, where have you been? Like, oh, I'm here to gut some giant crap. And then at the very end of the book, this huge monster that's like the size of a mountain shows up after she defeats the first round of monsters. So really good. It's just nothing like I'm going particularly crazy about.
Not the best writing in the world. So.
No, the writing's good. I mean, Kelly Thompson's doing good. It's just, I don't know. I just don't have an affinity for Wonder Woman, I guess. I'm trying.
Well, I wonder where the invisible plane is.
They've not showed that.
Yeah,
but
well,
her horse has invisible skin because it's a skeleton horse.
Oh, okay.
But I don't know if that probably doesn't have real skin.
You know, you wouldn't see the invisible plane anyways.
No.
If they were accurate.
See, you didn't wash your hands after using the invisible toilet.
How did they know?
How did they know? All right, next up, we've got Ultimate X-Men. We'll keep right into the X-Men stuff, or right into the Ultimate stuff. This is issue number 10. We've been reviewing all of the Ultimate books so far. If you really want to deep dive, check out some of our other previous Wednesday shows where Zach does a really good job of deep diving them up until this point. This is written, drawn, and I believe and colored by Peach Momoko. So she does everything in this book that she can do.
Oh, yeah.
And I've really preferred the first 5 issues of this one to the second 5 issues, only because I think there's just too many characters, and I'm not sure. Maybe it's just my style of reading that I don't like that jumping around so much. Where you're like, then this guy, then this character, then this character, and the stories don't quite go together yet, and maybe they're coming together at the end. This one, however, was a little bit better. It's a little jumpy in the beginning. You're seeing the problems that the children of the Atom are having, and they're trying to solve them and attacking some people, because now the media is aware of the mutant problem, as they should be. But then you meet up with Hisako Armor, and she's in her house, and those dead kids' parents come like, we know you had something to do with our daughter dying, and they like yelling at her in front of her family, and then her armor suit kind of freaks out and grabs him and like moves him around once, and so she kind of freaks out about it. That part's cool. then it leads you into this nice, actually very nice part of the story where Natsu, who is that Cyclops girl,
Okay.
she's in her room, and this is where the rest of the book just continues with one long story, which I very much liked. Her mom's like bugging her in her room, and when she turns around, she blasts a laser out her eye through the door, and then her like barely misses her mom. And then when her mom yells at her again, she blasts another laser and it goes right through her mom's head and kills her.
Oh,
yeah.
And this was in the past or present?
No, this is like current.
Oh, no.
In the current. So she goes out, like kind of checks her mom, and then she's like kind of in this weird freak out mode where she's like yelling at her mom and then shooting more lasers and her just riddling her mom with holes. So it gets real serious. But yeah, I mean, they still show all these characters on the cover, like Psylocke and Nico, who I don't think are really in this book. May was not in this book either, this issue. So
May still.
You just get a lot of the Cyclops girl, not Sue, which I did like that part. They need to like keep it one long story, or at least two. 3 or 4 or more than that in one issue is just too much, I think.
Yeah, it might be. It might be hard to track.
Yeah, that's what I'm having trouble with. Where I'm like, where are we going? Where are we
How
going?
you get it along?
X-Men that aren't X-Men, right?
How you get it out of that? You just make it this
People can't
big.
stop staring at that princess.
Make the book this big, and then you get story for days.
That's true. That's true. Or you read it all in trade, then you don't got to worry about it.
That's true.
All right, let's switch back over to the Incredible Hulk, Marvel. Switch back over to Marvel. This is Incredible Hulk issue number 20. Can't believe we've gotten this far, but Philip Kennedy Johnson. We also have another guest artist, Danny Earls. Nick Klein's a normal artist. He actually did the cover still. But Danny Earls did a good job on this one. It's not too bad on it. I very much prefer Nick Klein over anybody else on this series so far, but like I said, Charlie, who's back on there, she's back alive. They screwed over the elder and the mother of whatever, and they were able to escape. So Hulk, like, gave up his body and then got away before she, like, consumed it to do her dirty work. Mm-hmm. But in the middle of all that, they found out while Charlie was escaping, she found this thing called the God Skin. And when she, like, it looks like she switches her skin because you can see her pile of skin laying on the ground when she puts it on. And when she does that, she becomes like the king of the werewolves. And she has like big wings. And she's like this giant werewolf, she's pretty powerful. And
a werewolf with wings?
Yeah, she has like wings.
Like vampire wings or like angel
like
wings?
Furry wings.
Oh, furry.
Furry wings.
I don't know. Like
but so she's really powerful. So I think this is going to be her new thing where she also turns into a monster like her favorite friend Hulk. Mm-hmm. And they run into another werewolf who's on the cover. I don't think it's particularly any werewolf, but he's like, oh, you got to get back to the pack. I know you're a werewolf and you need a pack. And then she turns into this thing and is like, yeah, make me. I'll tear you to pieces. So it's kind of cool. So she's got her like hulking out sort of thing. And I liked it. They did do when she crushes something, she says Charlie Smash, which was kind of funny. Charlie Smash.
So she gets a full like facilities, like she can think.
I think so. Yeah, she gets a little angry, but I think she's still thinking good.
Okay.
Yeah,
thinking well.
But that was like their thought, like thinking well, thinking good. I got a good brain, but they do give her own book, and then this is like her shtick. Now she's like a female werewolf. The only weird thing was she didn't have no clothes on so I don't know. Yeah, it's interesting.
Awkward.
We got Krista Creative. How's it going? Yeah, it's been a good book. And a lot of people kind of forget it, but it's more on the like dark, like spooky side than superhero. It's like not superhero at all. I think they've been running to like Man Thing and like Dr. Voodoo and all kinds of stuff. So
yeah, that might be a good read.
Nut Tech, what is up? Welcome in, and you're next. How's it going?
Character.
Yeah, I think so. I think that's what they're alluding to. And her first appearance is in issue 1, so if you're interested in that.
Yeah, I think another name for werewolves are skinwalkers.
Yeah, I've heard that too. Yes, yeah. And they also use the name they call them like lichens, which I think we know that name.
Lycanthropes.
Like lycanthropes. Lycanthropes. We got
words.
Spawn issue 359, Zach. Can you believe we're at 359 for Spawn?
I just can't wait for 369.
I know.
Ha ha ha.
I know, Trebek.
Ha ha ha.
But I took a few notes. This one's always hard for me to remember, so I decided I'll write a few things down so I can talk to you guys about Spawn. But this is Rory McConneville wrote the story with some edits by the great Todd McFarlane. It always says that. I'm not sure what he adds to the story. I'm sure he looks over and he's like, you need to move that over here and this over there, and then we'll call it good. But it's drawn by Brett Booth. So still drawn by Brett Booth. And they have usually, I think there's 2 covers right now. This is the Bjorn Barons cover. I think he does the sculpting stuff for the toys, and he usually sculpts these covers in, and then they are able to reuse them to make that version of the toy. So that's why it has that very real look too. So it's kind of which is pretty fun. So the story, what we're dealing with right now is the angels and demons had that big war, and then everyone lost all their powers that are connected to the angels and the demons. So if you're an angel or a demon, you lose your powers. There is that Lyra girl who's hanging out with Spawn, who's half demon, half angel, who still has her powers because she's not just one or the other. Spawn, on the other hand, has no powers. But in the midst of there being no devil-angel war, who takes over? The vampires. So that's what they're dealing with, is the vampires are now the powerful group. And there's apparently there's a big vampire who's kind of famous in Spawn called Blood. Something Blood. It's Bludd. He's one of his famous villains. And I think he's been around since the early issues.
Blood Fiend? Is it?
Not Blood is his last name. Something Blood. But they do introduce a character called the Queen of Hell in this book. So that might be a big deal later on. And she was inhabiting this sexy zombie corpse, which was kind of cool but weird. Gave me weird thoughts.
Zombie tramp?
Kinda. Yeah, it looked like Brett Booth drawing a sexy zombie. And she was inhabiting that body so she could talk to them. And they were trying to figure out how they needed to work with the Queen of Hell. So find out who that is in a future book. Lyra, though, still continues to be a really cool character. I know that I think she's about 10 issues deep now, or maybe longer than that. If you're looking for a good spec character for this time period of Spawn, maybe pick up some of Lyra's first appearances.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
While they're still cheap. They're clearly making a character that's similar to Angela and looks really cool. So
you got the Queen of Hell, right?
Yeah.
Introduced loosely in this book.
Yeah.
But in issue 350, it's the Lord of Hell?
That's when Nyx becomes something like the devil or something. Or I'm not quite sure. I don't know if I read 350. But NYX becomes the ruler of hell. Yeah. So I'm not quite sure. I think there's a ruler and not. Eric, what's up? Welcome in. Oh, you just got home from my LCS new location. 250. What? Is that miles away? Got home at 8 p.m. 250 miles?
It's not worth the drive.
Yeah.
You're picking up a collection of Silver Age books. Oh, yeah.
But if you're hungry for some 90s nostalgia, it's still drawn like Brett Booth drew in the 90s, which is cool. And the panel layout's very 90s panel layout, too. So, quick read. This book almost made the thumbnail, guys. And I wasn't sure if I was even going to buy this, but I'm kind of glad I did. It was cool. Oh, no, 2:50 p.m. I got you, 2:50. This is Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man issue number 1. Cover A. This is the prequel to the new Disney Plus show. So there's a Disney Plus show coming out with this character, and this is his origin story. I'm not sure how many issues there's going to be before they cut it off, before the show comes out, because I don't think they want it overlapping. But this is Christoph Gage and Eric Gaspeter are the creatives on this group, and it wasn't a bad read. It's a whole different take. So it's not like your average. They introduce how Spider-Man gets bit. He's at school. It's pretty basic. The artwork's nice and chill. He doesn't really put on the costume yet. So even though they show him on the cover in the costume, he gets bit. He learns of his powers. Some big crazy differences when he's at school and he gets bit. He's talking to a girl by the name of Nico, and she has a very similar haircut to the Nico we all know from Runaways. So it appears that Nico is going to be the main love interest, and that's kind of so no Mary Jane, no Gwen Stacy, so no Betty Brant,
no
Silk. He's talking to Nico. So when he gets bit by the spider, kind of like falls over, and they don't explain where the spider came from, so maybe we'll see where that's going. But he like falls over, and all these girls rush to him, and then you see like this younger lady or younger woman, and I was like, okay, this is maybe his love interest, and then it was Aunt May, and I was like, what the? So like made Aunt May like this hotter, like actually hot character. So I don't know if they're going the Marissa Tomei route on this one, but I was quite surprised. They did allude that the next issue they had like a bad guy they introduced. But I'm not quite sure if they named who the bad guy was. He had like silver hair, but it was long. I don't know if it was supposed to be a version of Silvermane, maybe. And he's like, I'm sending in the enforcers, so we're gonna get the enforcers. It's like Fancy Dan and Ox and all those dudes in the next issue. I'm probably gonna read the next one, see how it goes. That Spidey costume sucks. It's kind of reminiscent to the Tobey Maguire one, right?
Or what about the Spider-Man India,
a little bit, but I don't think they're going that route.
I know they're not, but it kind of looks
the
similar.
TV one.
Yeah. The movie.
Yeah, the movie one. Yes.
Yeah.
But check it out. I passed on the X-Men '97 when it came out, just because I was like, I don't need a prequel to the show. Yeah. And then now that book's really expensive, and so I'm giving this one a whirl. I'm giving it a whirl, guys. I liked it though. I did like it. It was interesting. Speaking of likes, we got X-Men. I didn't even see what the number. X-Men issue number 7. This is the variant cover. This is the Capcom versus Marvel cover.
Oh wow!
Yeah, which should be like an artist from the Capcom game. I don't know if I don't think I wrote down the artist's name, unfortunately. But Gail Simone is the author of the book, the great Gail Simone, and David Marquez is doing the artwork on this. And those are the regular two. It's been a great book so far. You have X-Men, you have Uncanny X-Men. They're doing this big crossover right now together, where it's like the raid on the Grey Malkin, that prison I was talking about. And in this book, Rogue is the main character, even though she's leading the team. Okay, so she has like Gambit and Nightcrawler on the team with her. And they have their friend Calico, who's one of the new characters on their team, has been kidnapped, and they're going to attack the base. Okay. So because they want to get their new person back. I wrote down the names of the new people. So you have like Jitter, who's a girl. Then there's Ransom, who's like they're all 4 new characters, but he has kind of like Grifter mask, which is kind of cool. I like Grifter. So, but it's kind of played out. There's a little bit of that going on. Yeah. But he looks cool. There's a Dream Death character who's like a goth guy who's kind of interesting. And like whenever they're like going someplace, like, oh, are we on our way to die? This is exciting. Like, I hope I get killed. So like, he's kind of cool, and he has some like fun powers. And then Calico is the girl who rides the horse, and she says she's not a mutant, but then they allude that she is a mutant, and she also has rich parents. So like when she's at the prison, they try to let her go. And they're like, oh, your family's gonna pay us a lot of money to release you. And then she kind of turns into like this like flaming Valkyrie type character when she gets on the horse. So they haven't like officially said that I could tell if she is really a mutant. I feel like she is, but she's probably the most interesting character out of the 4.
It's kind of like gives that two things.
Did you say like, shitter?
Well, no. It's
jitter.
Like two things.
Like,
one, we need like a rich person on the team. Another thing is like it kind of gives that in the X-Men '97, was it Sunspot?
Yeah.
Yeah, kind of similar
rich parents. Yeah, kind of the Warren Worthington III Angel stuff.
Yeah.
But I liked it a lot. They do this thing where they meet up with Cyclops' team, and then they're like, we're here to get Beast. And they're like, don't get in our way. Well, we're here to get Calico. Don't get in our way. And then they're kind of like, well, I'm in charge of my group. You're in charge. You're like, don't tell me what to do. And then, of course, the new kids like start throwing punches at them because you don't get like Gambit's not gonna like whap like like whoever's on the other team, like Magic in the face or something like that for no reason. But the kids do. They get into it and then they start scrapping. It doesn't seem like anything serious, but they kind of end it where they're gonna go on further, and they have like their secret, like Cyclops has his secret weapon where he's like, all right, Juggernaut, get in there, and he's like standing outside about ready to just bulldoze the whole place down. So we'll see where this ends up, but I really like the narrative from Rogue's point of view, and it's a really good book.
Yeah, it sounds like a good book.
Mm-hmm.
I like it.
Yeah, and it's cool. Now I don't think the crossover's too early to cross over with Uncanny, and I'm glad that they didn't cross over with like all 20 of the other X-Men books all at the same time. So you only have to buy 2 that I was already buying. Next up, we got The Amazing Spider-Man issue number 63, guys. This is the 8 deaths of Spider-Man. This is interesting in a lot of ways. This is cover A, and then we have been getting the Scotty Youngs, which have actually been very good Scotty Youngs. That super color, a nice. I've never seen him stepped on by a shoe before. So he's getting killed in every single one. There's a special little like tombstone in every single one saying which death. This is death number 3 of 8, and normally this whole story came up by Joe Kelly and Ed McGuinness, and he has written 2 issues so far. Guess what? He did not write this issue. I don't know why. Super weird. Justine Ireland took over for this issue. I'm not super familiar with, but I know there has not been that many females over the year write Amazing Spider-Man, so it's kind of a cool milestone in the ASM mythos. Mm-hmm. And then Gleb McKinnikoff drew this one, and he does a nice job. I was kind of like, this is weird at first, and then when you look at it, it's sort of like a nice mixture between John Romita Jr. and Ed McGuinness, which I'm sure that's what he was going for because that's the last artist and the current artist, and he just mixed them together and made something kind of cool. I will say, I like Justine Ireland's writing. She did a really good job. The book is still slightly confusing, not on her own part, just because the storyline of like Sidorak and this like ancient battle of Sidorak and Doctor Strange, where every so often they duke it out for the fate of the world, much like Mortal Kombat.
What the?
And he has to like fight his children. Well, as you know, Doom is now the Sorcerer Supreme, so now who has to fight Sidorak is Doom, and Doom's first rule as Sorcerer Supreme is Doom does not want to fight Sidorak, and he is going to make Spider-Man fight Sidorak, and he has these 8 reeds, and there's 8 children of Sidorak, and so as he fights each one and dies, then like he gets closer to the end. This one was kind of weird how he died, and even like the Sidorak child that he fought was interesting. She showed him like kind of like the Ghost of Christmas Past, where he like visits all like his past like moments that were very influential in his life. So like the death of Uncle Ben, the death of Gwen Stacy, the death of Captain Stacy, Eddie Brock turning into Venom. He's like there living it, but he can't change it. And then she's like trying to break his spirit. Then he realizes he's using like time jumping things. So he like sets up a moment in the future, because they jump into the future too. She's like, we'll show you how crappy your life's gonna be in the future. So he realizes that and like sets up a point where he's like, I'm gonna punch at this moment in the future right here, knowing that we're gonna be there. So like they go into the future and he's waiting there ready to like punch her in the face and like beats her that way. I'm not quite sure how she died from that, or like technically lost, but then his mind breaks and he gets killed at the same time, which was a little bit weird because I'm like, he doesn't need to die in every single one, but apparently he does to get rid of the whole thing. But there's some very good dialogue in this. He has his new girlfriend, Shay, who we've met before, and she's becoming a little more interesting. And hangs out with Robbie Robertson, the son of Robbie Robertson.
Yeah.
Whatever the
journalist.
Yeah, but the other one, the younger. So he does get this really nice conversation with Black Cat, which I really appreciate, which was cool. And she reiterated that she is single again, wink, wink. And he was like, well, do you want to talk about your ex? And she's like, no, I don't want to revisit that ever again, because she was last with a girl. So maybe they're not going to go back to that again. They were very much like, let's not talk about that anymore. So I don't know if they got quite the vibe that they were going to get back together, but definitely I like the way she was drawn, and Justine had a good voice for like the female characters in this book. So that was a little bit better than what they've done in the past. So we'll see. We still have some more books. I think Justine is on the next book as well. So I'm kind of excited for that. There's a weird thing at the end of the book where I was like, is this the wrong page? Then there's last page is the Uncanny X-Men team with like Magic and Juggernaut and Psylocke sitting at this thing, and then they're like, oh, guess what? We're going to be in the next book. So they're crossing over with X-Men in the next book. So.
And you thought they weren't crossing over.
I guess.
And now they
But
are.
I almost was like, I think I got a misprint. I was going to like get up and tell Zach, like, Zach, they added a page in here that doesn't belong. And then I'm like, oh, then I read at the end, and like the editor's notes, like, oh yeah, are you excited that X-Men's crossing over? Because it made no sense to the storyline. I'm like, because it just ended the Spider-Man and didn't say anything, and then this little X-Men thing, and then it's like, next time on Dragon Ball Z.
X-Men.
We got the name change. Hola, welcome in,
reason.
name change. How's it going? And Coco loves Chevy. What is up? Welcome in, Coco, as well as Jeff Coy.
Coco loves Chachi.
Howdy peeps, howdy
Is
peeps.
that how it
So
goes?
yeah, Amazing Spider. I mean, I wouldn't be mad if Justine Ireland maybe took over because I guess nobody knows who's taking over after Joe Kelly, and he's only signed up for these 8 issues, which he has now not written going on 2 of the 8. So what's going on with him?
He was on a break.
I guess.
Oh.
Normally you get these for the covers, but I was feeling froggy and decided to read them. This is Princess's book, Dazzler, issue number 4. Jason Liu, Java Tartaglia. Sorry, probably butchered that name. I apologize. This is the last issue of the run. It's the variant cover by Jenny Frison. Beautiful looking book. There's only 4 issues in it, so it ends. I didn't read the other ones, so I did get a feel for it. She's on tour. That's where like Strong Guy Domino are like part of her like entourage, as well as like Lila Cheney, you know, the other like famous singer from the multiverse, or from the, she was like part of like Mojo's group, you know, that singer that Mojo had locked up that made sing and stuff like that. They're all hanging out together. Someone's been attacking people at her concerts and making people hate mutants, and it's still that like fall of Krakoa kind of thing. And the mystery was like who was the one attacking people at the concerts and screwing up everything. I've been told it was a pretty good story. Surprise, surprise, it was a version of Multiple Man. So Multiple Man is on her group and friends with her, but he apparently split off at a certain point, and one of his dupes became a jerk and was screwing with them. And they kicked his butt and saved the day. They did say, pay attention in case Dazzler comes back for her season 2 or a new concert, but it wasn't bad. I've read a lot of Jason Liu stuff, and I don't know. I don't really care for his writing that well. I don't know why, but I don't know. People like him, but I'm not a big fan.
That's funny.
No particular reason.
No particular reason.
Yeah.
The writer?
Yeah, Jason Liu. He wrote like that Werewolf by Night book recently, and I didn't care for that much either. And now reading this one, it was okay.
Jason
it was
Liu.
okay.
Quit while the quitting's good.
I think he's an up and comer, dude. They're putting him on more books, so we'll see. We will see. Someone needs to recommend a good book that he wrote, and I'll give it a try. I even read this one.
That's
so
cool.
We got cool. Power Girl issue number 15. That's a variant cover by Frank Cho. Who did that one, Princess? Jack, do you know?
Baba Yaga.
Baba Yaga did this cover. But it is written by Leah Williams, and it can't be drawn by Andrea Williams. I think I wrote the wrong name down. Let me see. Andrea Mello. So, someone has the sound on. Oh, Jeff DeCall. Princess has her sound on.
John Wick.
I have not read any of the Power Girls so far, but I was like, hey, we're buying these books. I'm going to read them all. I'm going to read a big old booby window. Yes, John Wick. It could be John Wick. But this was actually decent. It was a good book. This is part of the All-In series, so the relaunch of DC stuff. So they have a new bullet title on the top, and it was cool. This is the origin story of, and Zach's going to love this, Ejecta. Ejecta. So I actually kind of dug the origin story of Ejecta. If you're looking for her first appearance, it's issue 13. She may be a big character in the DC universe, so keep an eye out for that. She has a very cool look to her. They say she has albinism. I'm thinking that she might be like albino because she had very like white skin and like white hair. And she was like kidnapped by this like beast looking character who's also like AI. So he looks like the Beast from Disney, but he's also like an AI. And he kidnapped Ejecta when she was a youth and raised her to be like a badass, and then gives her like this awesome armor that can make her like a superhero/villain. And then she does a bunch of stuff. And apparently Power Girl was also kidnapped by this same character back in the day, and was raised to try and be his, like when the planet was destroyed, Krypton, he kidnapped her as well and tried to do the same thing, like when she got away from it. So now she was trying to help Ejecta get away from this bad guy, which was kind of cool. I think she could be a fun character and was really well drawn. And I think the book takes place in Seattle too, which was kind of cool as well. Cool. The Baba Yaga. But yeah, cool. It's a cool book. I mean, it's jumped into one issue, but Ejecta.
You know,
I don't know if I like that name, but
I met an albino person once. They were of ill temperament, probably because they are very sensitive to the sun.
they made him ill-tempered.
Yes, that person was not.
I wouldn't
Very happy.
generalize.
I don't know. I've never met another albino, but now that's what I'm thinking. That they hate me or they hate everyone.
I love them. On that note, someone was asking me, and I on Whatnot if I got the Transformers, and I thought I did, and my LCS did not give me the Transformer book, so hopefully I get it on Wednesday because it's been a good read, and I'll be able to talk about Transformers with you guys next week. However, I did get Void Rivals issue 14. We're all the way up to 14, Zach. You are loved by all.
Aww.
Oh, there you go. Robert Kirkman and Lorenzo Del Felici. I gotta say that name right because I need to figure out how to say that. This book has been really good. It still reads very fast. It's paced kind of slow, but not necessarily in a bad way. If you've ever read like Walking Dead, it's very similar in how they do that kind of stuff. Geekpin, but it's like kind of these little like snippets of time, and you kind of get kind of a full story, but don't. But we're still Darak, D-A-R-A-K, who's the main character, and Soleil, who's the other two main characters. They've separated now, and they're kind of going on separate missions. Darak has now met up with a new Transformer, so they have Transformers in there, but this is the first time we meet Hot Rod. So now cool. Hot Rod is with him, and they're traveling together, kind of like in this issue for the first time. And in the story, Darak has always had a AI. I don't want so many AIs lately, but an AI robot hand called Handroid, and it's kind of fun. It's a fun part of the book because the Handroid is very loyal to like his planet that he's from, and he's trying to branch out and like make new friends outside of that. And it's always kind of like complaining to him like, you shouldn't be like helping out Soleil because she's from the enemy planet. And he's like, shut up, do what I say. And they're like friends, but he also has his opinions on things. Well, recently he had to separate, and he gave Soleil a Handroid. So now she is traveling around with the Handroid. And they do set him up with a new Handroid in this book as well. So now they will each have their own Handroid. And I'm worried when they get together, but it's pretty cool. Easy with the Handroid, can't trust them.
It sounds dirty. You know, idle hands, so they say.
But there's a lot of like fan love to cool like toys and things like that I remember from the 80s. I did not remember they were connected to like Transformers or G.I. Joe, but just some like weird, like, I don't know if you ever had those guys that would look like crocodile type people, but they had like kind of robotic suits on, and you could hold that symbol on their chest, kind of like Transformers, and you take it off and it would show you if they're like a good guy or a bad guy. And they're like little rubber dudes. You ever have any of those?
Or like a weird Stretch Armstrong? What are you trying?
It might be before your time.
I think it is.
Yeah.
Before my time.
I think they were loosely connected to the Transformers, but because Transformers had that symbol where you could hold it and it would tell you what team they were on. But
oh, really?
Yeah, I always thought that was exciting. Next up, we got Laura Kinney Wolverine, issue number 1. And I like that they did that name. So now we have Laura Kinney. Has ever done like the Laura Kinney one before, right?
I don't think so.
Yeah. This is issue number 1. It's the variant cover by J. Scott Campbell.
Oh.
Possibly cover of the week. We'll have to find out. This is written by Erica Schultz and drawn by Giada Belviso. And I actually thought this was a really good standalone issue. They did a really good part of this, like making it's an own complete story. Like I'm assuming issue 2 is going to kind of start over in a brand new story involving like similar characters, but you get this kind of thing where like talk about Krakoa and her like trying to figure out her place in the world after leaving Krakoa, and she runs into these mutants, where it's mutant girls like, my little brother was kidnapped, and can you go find him? It's like in Dubai, and like she goes over there, and you get to see some of her friends. Like, so she's Laura's friends with Kamala Khan and one of the Stepford Cuckoos, and
they happen to be in Dubai all at the same time.
No, they're in New York when they get the message, but then she's like hanging out with them, like, hey, let's go have fun, and then she's like, all right, I'm gonna go save this mutant in Dubai. So when she goes there, and she finds out that this character named Cybella is kidnapping other mutants and using them for their powers. I think that mutant had like the ability to make people feel good about themselves or something like that. So she was kind of selling it like a drug and like controlling it. And you learn that like Cybella, which I thought this was probably my favorite part of the book, was that Cybella was actually a Morlock who was killed during the mutant massacre by the Marauders. And they actually referenced X-Men 211 in the book. You know how they do that? Like, check it out in X-Men 211. I've never seen one go that far back. And I thought that was cool. And in the Krakoa era, one of the things they did was they brought everyone back to life who was killed in the mutant massacre. So she's kind of like, I'm tired of everyone like, you know, like getting it down on me. So I want to like take advantage of some people myself. Kind of a turd. But Laura beats her and then returns the mutant to her sibling, and then kind of like she got kind of like established like this is my place in the world. I need to like help mutants, and I thought that was cool. Not sure if I'll continue on with the story, but maybe I'll give it a good try. But I like it that it was like a contained single issue. It was kind of fun.
Yeah, that sounds pretty interesting.
Right?
I mean, how far can they go on with just doing that one off? They have to. I kind of
personal gain, right?
I kind of like at least having a couple like mini sagas.
Yeah.
I mean, you don't have to do like a 7-issue run.
No, I mean, yeah, I could have done like a 2 or 3 one, but it gave that like old school comic feel where you're like 1 issue, 1 story, 1 and done sort of thing. So
maybe we'll check back later.
Yeah.
But yeah.
So that's this last week's comics that we were able to get our hands on. Before you want to go, let's do Zach's BS talk, and then we'll show you guys the comics of the next week. What was your comic of the week? Is it the J. Scott Campbell? Comic cover of the week.
It's really
Wolverine.
It's really good. It's really good.
Makes me want to watch that movie.
Oh yeah, Logan.
Red Dawn.
Oh, Red Dawn. Wait,
yeah.
what?
Yeah, Red Dawn.
Wait, what does that have anything to do with?
That's the name. They're like go to the high school, the Wolverines, and then when they kill the enemy, like Russians and Cubans, and they yell out Wolverine,
Wolverines. There was a lot of good.
Don't watch the remake. That one
in the original
one. Pointless.
Was Charlie Sheen in the
original one? Yeah. Patrick Swayze.
So.
Oh yeah, BS time.
All right.
Buying smart.
This isn't a comic.
The purchase of the week.
This is comic art, and this is something I never thought I'd ever be able to own, let alone what issue number this happens to be. But right here, I'll let the printer show you. Can anybody guess who the artist is?
Did it turn out to be real?
It is real.
Oh, nice.
It is real. It's a correct paper, and it's correct signature. It's, everything's...
It says reprint on the back.
Oh, no.
I'm just kidding.
No, that's real. That's for sure real. You'd be able to tell pretty quickly if it was fake. But, yeah, that's... Yeah, can anybody guess? Huh?
No guesses?
No guesses? All right, guys and gals and people. That's a Michael Turner original art. But it's not just any old Michael Turner original art. This is Witchblade number 2. So it's the third appearance of Witchblade. I mean, the page itself is like nothing's crazy happening to it. There's the actual Witchblade hand right there, the item right there, and you got a nice little facial of her, right? Oh, that's not facial. Bad. And a couple of nice little scenes. You get to see. This is when he was, first kind of starting out. Coco
likes it.
First kind of started out. So, and it's the second issue of Witchblade. You shouldn't.
It's the second issue.
Yeah.
Page number 16.
Page number 16, and you can see how they used to do back in the day. The price that each page they put how much?
$200.
$200. I did not pay that. I wish I did, but I did not pay anywhere near I thought I was going to pay.
And signed too.
And signed by Michael Turner. So here's a little bit of backstory about Michael Turner, real quick. Michael Turner was born in 1971, April 21st, in Crossville, Tennessee. He also died. He's no longer out. He's not able to make any of these forgeries. But this
Great
is real.
Investment.
But he died in June 27, 2008, at only the age of 37.
Oh, that's terrible.
But he got a lot done in those 37 years. He died of bone cancer. Really, that's really horrible. Really horrible. he did some great things. He created his own publishing agency after starting up in Top Cow and then Image and basically the same thing. Yeah, he started Aspen MLT. MT is Michael Turner. L is like Lorene, or he has a weird middle name. I'm not ever going to remember it. But he established it in 2002. Pretty cool. Some of the notable series that he worked on was Fathom, Soulfire, both of those from Aspen. Technically, Fathom also was in Image or Top Cow. But yeah, he was able to get the rights for that. Superman / Batman and Witchblade.
Yeah. That's a good series.
Yes. Witchblade especially. Oh yeah, and Shrugged. So of the interiors, you know, it's interesting. He worked on issue 1 through 8, 10 to 23, and issue 25, and that's all the interiors he did.
Oh, okay.
It did a span from 1995 to 1998.
He didn't write it though, did he?
I don't think he wrote it.
Okay.
Correct me if I'm wrong. I don't think he wrote it. But he did a lot more covers than interiors. Yeah, he did the covers 1 through 25, 27, number 50, 86, 100, and his last cover they did.
Coco Chevy, the rejected cover. Yeah. I still kept mine.
103. He might have worked on other ones, but those were probably the variants. These were cover A's, and that spanned to 1995 to all the way to 2007, a year before his death. And interesting.
Welcome in, Liger.
Welcome in, Liger. Interesting enough, how he actually got into comics, like officially, like full throttle.
Yeah.
Mark Silvestri discovered him at a random Comic-Con, and he says, "Hey, I want you to work for me at my Top Cow."
Oh.
So Top Cow was able to hire him.
I like Mark Silvestri a lot.
And that's how it all started.
That's how it all began.
And they end up working together quite a bit. And while Prince is showing that, I'll show you the page. I'll show you first. Yeah, so that's the page.
Nice.
Yeah. And
you gonna show them? Show the people? Oh, Zach's a good shower.
Yeah, there it is.
You got it.
Oh,
it's in there.
Can you see?
Yeah,
can you see?
Side by side.
Yeah. It's pretty cool. It's good to have an example of actual page of original art.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool, Phil. And that's my second Michael Turner original art, but my first one wasn't a page. It was just a sketch I was able to get on the cheap. Someone gave me
Someone gave that to you?
Well, it gave me it was $80.
Nice.
You want to show it? Or okay, let's show it.
She's keeping that.
Yeah. So that's my first piece, and that's my second piece. Can't believe I got it. Make sure to keep an eye out on all the auction sites that sell original art, because you might be able to pick up a steal of a deal like that. That's oof. Can't believe I found it.
I didn't fall back there.
It's gonna catch fire. Thank you, Princess.
Yeah, I mean, you think they're pretty good investments, right?
Oh yeah,
yeah. Because it's a one of a kind. So and especially nowadays, like hardly anybody actually draws out on like paper that form anymore, that format. So sort of not like a dead medium type, but like that fashion everybody does on computers now. So it's like really rare. I mean, you were able to get one recently, like a mini
prelim.
one. Yeah, prelim was the closest thing Zach was able to find for more recent stuff.
And that was a funny one.
Yeah, very cool. All right, guys, books for tomorrow to pick up. Princess's books of the week. We've got these are just some of the ones we're possibly going to pick up. Hopefully, Walking Dead Deluxe issue 103 at the variant cover there. See where this is where finally out of the Negan story. Although it looks like he's about to bash someone's brains in. I can see the reflection good enough. We've got Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles issue number 5. I really like, so this is our first issue with what's going to be all the characters together. Obviously, it's going to be a Casey Jones issue. That's cover A. I may have made a mistake and ordered the Eastman cover, which I think I had to order that one blind. And it looks weird. But
it's really ugly.
who is that guy?
What the hell? Like some creepy man.
Yeah. So we'll see. I kind of would rather get the other one, but we'll see where that goes.
You just tell him that wasn't the book you actually ordered.
Oh, he knows.
No, he doesn't.
Guys, we've got Ultimate Spider-Man issue number 12. This is the Christmas issue. It's happening in real time. So this is the last book of the year. He's even wearing a Christmas hat. Looks really cool. I'm excited for that one. That should be really fun. Oh, we've got Spectacular Spider-Man issue number 10. Is it 10?
Ooh.
I think so. This is the Greg Weisman. Actually, I don't even know. I don't even think Greg Weisman might not be writing this anymore, but we got Spider-Man and Miles team-up book. I may be dropping it soon. We'll see if I'm going to keep going up. Big book. Absolute Batman issue number 3. Scott Snyder goodness is coming out. This is a really good time for comics, guys. I know, like, in the early 2000s, we had some really good stuff coming out with Ultimate Spider-Man and, like, Batman. At that point, we're kind of back in that same game.
Kind of excited for when they bring up Absolute Catwoman.
Oh, the number's at the top. Namor issue number 5. Jason Aaron goodness. He is writing Ultimate Superman, but also writing Namor for Marvel. And I think this is the second to last issue, which I think is known as the penultimate issue. And I've been liking this one. Oh, Blood Hunters issue number 5, I think is also the last issue. That's a nice cover. It's been sort of a very chill book. Nothing too crazy, but
that's nice.
A group of 4 beautiful women, might be 5. And Miles hanging out while he's a vampire. Yeah, so we'll see. I think this might be the last issue, but I like in that name, the Blood Hunters. And should be the Catwoman issue 71 variant cover. Princess is trying to find this one. That's a Frank Cho, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Frank Cho variant cover. Looks nice. They've done a couple of these so far with that cover. So with that style, I think this is the second one. And then we got G.I. Joe issue number 2. I'm hoping I get this one. I was actually not going to read G.I. Joe except for the first issue, but it was really good. Like, the first issue was really good. And now I kind of want to know when Baroness betrays the team.
Maybe she never does.
Oh, she will. Spawn Kills Every Spawn issue 5. This is the last issue. It's been a fun ride. Goofy. Really cool artwork. It's like $2.99. So I'm like, I'm going to finish this whole thing. It's fun. It's a fun book.
How many spawns has he killed already?
A few. So he ended up at a world. He ended up on another world where they have the Violators. So he lives on a place where there's all the different spawns. There's another planet where there's all the different Violators, and then they like
do things.
Yeah, they do things to each other. Violations. But that I think that wraps up our review for this week, guys. Like I said, come hang out with us this Saturday, 4 p.m. Princess will be on Whatnot. And we will have a special Christmas Eve episode on Tuesday. There should be plenty of new books coming out. We're going to have plenty of stuff to read. Maybe we're going to have our top 10 favorite Christmas movies to add in on this one. Since it's Christmas Eve, we'll be watching some of them. So, for the list. Bring your guys' list. What is your top 10 favorite Christmas movies for next week, right?
Die Hard.
Yeah, that could be on the list.
I don't know why people consider that.
Die Hard 2.
Happens during Christmas, right?
He says something like "mother effer," right?
Happy holidays, you mother. No,
yeah.
No. He says yippee-ki-yay.
That's true. Yeah.
Yippee-ki-yay,
That's true. Keep the change, you filthy animal.
That's Home Alone.
Oh, okay. All right, guys. As usual, hit the like button right now. Princess is here. She loves it when you guys do that. Hit the subscribe button so you can hear all these awesome reviews every Tuesday. We're really loving this, our new Straight Up Comics show, and we're having a good time. Lots of fun stuff going on in the BS corner. So come hang out with Zach every week. And you got anything extra?
Yeah, sure. How you do that is you got to take some time. Time is your sweetest, most useful, tool that you have at your disposal. Because a dish is best served cold.
Revenge?
Yeah. Revenge. See?
It is.
Everybody knows.
You
know what that actually means?
Like, take your time?
Yeah.
Like, don't get angry right off the bat?
Yeah. Take your time.
Plan out your revenge.
6 years from now, strike.
Yeah.
When the iron is cold.
Yeah.
You get
the least expect it.
And that's how you get all the original art in the world.
Yeah, we're doing the long con, dude.
The long con. The greatest con of cons.
Yeah. 50 years from now.
The long Comic Con.
All right, guys. Until we see you next time, everybody, stay safe and
get those con gains.
Get them.
The long con.
The long con.
All right. You have good ones.
Bye, guys. Long con.
Bye.
The flipperoo.
I cheeked out.